Hello everybody and welcome to another commented DCS video, and just like in the first one I'm again flying the Su-33, the naval version of the famed flanker fighter aircraft. And yeah, what can I say, it was pretty much more like a coincidence. I was flying the flanker this time around again, but I do really like this aircraft for several reasons. One of them being the IRST, which basically allows you to short-range track and engage enemies without alerting them to your presence, which is very handy. And the other thing that I really like about this plane, but is also present like the IRST on the Su-27, is the tactical map on one of the MFDs, which gives you outstanding situational awareness, especially if it's coupled with an aerial early warning aircraft. And yeah, in this particular sortie I'm going to make good use of both of those, and I managed to bag a total of 6 kills in this one flight, 5 out of those being fighter aircraft, and just one of the 6 was an A-10, which didn't put up much of a fight, of course. But yeah, let's jump right in and see how this one went. So, several minutes into this flight I had already picked up 2 contacts heading into friendly territory at very low altitude, but just as I was getting into range I lost sight and radar contact with them, so I used this neat little feature here. I don't know if it's present on all of the DCS servers, which is called calling a bogey dope, which is basically like tab 7.1 in Cliffs. It gives you a heading and a distance to the nearest enemy aircraft, and I wasn't aware that they were actually just underneath my nose. I don't know if you can see that on the video. Now I'm zooming in, you can see those 2 tiny specks there. And the bogey dope, by the way, on this server, I don't remember exactly which one it was that I was flying on that sortie. It was, you could either call one manually, or the server also gave it automatically to you in a certain interval. And now I made contact with them, and I switched from radar to the IRST because I don't want them to be alerted, because it's 2 against 1, and if they turn around to face me that could turn very ugly very quickly. And I'm now switching over to my 27 ETs, which is the IR version of the Alamo missile, and I'm about to get into range of the missile seeker. I don't have launch permission yet, and it did a little turn right there. I've got launch permission now. Any second now, yeah, there, the first missile goes away, second one is about to launch, and they actually saw the missiles coming in. Either they were looking into the right direction, or they got the bogey dope themselves and were kind of like suspicious. But actually both of my missiles hit, which was kind of surprising to me, because the 27 ETs are not very flare resilient, at least not in my experience, and both of them actually flared. They didn't flare a lot, and they were not AI. This on the server there was no AI. They were all aircraft on the server were human controlled. And yeah, I guess if they had used more flares, that might have been more successful, and they would have actually stood a chance of defeating the missiles. But yeah, this turned out very well for me, and let's hop to the next segment. And again, several minutes later I had a radar blip on my screen which disappeared, but it was definitely an enemy flying alongside the coast here. So I was using the bogey dope server command to get my bearing on the aircraft, which I'm currently have my radar selected, but it doesn't show anything, even though the contact should be right in front of me, maybe a little bit lower than me. Doesn't show anything. I'm switching over to the RRST now, and it's not showing anything, although he's pretty close by now. And he's actually off to my right somewhere. He should be showing up soon enough. There it is. Yeah, there's the A10. This is actually the A10, one ground pounder that I shot down. And this time I'm not trying to be sneaky. I'm switch over to my radar-guided LMOs because, I mean, what is he really going to do? It's just an A10, so I fire, and there's pretty much my free kill there. Poor guy. Yeah, A10s don't really stand much of a chance against the flanker. So, yep, that's that, and let's see where I actually pick up the other 3 fighter kills. Again, several minutes later, I get another bogey dope from the server, which is calling out 2 contacts, about medium to short range from me, also flying alongside the coast. And I don't know if you can, or you will be able to see this, but I could just barely see those 2 contacts in the distance. There's actually a radar blip on the screen, and I'm zooming in because they are not very far off. They're about 40 kilometers. I switch off my radar because I made visual contact. They are just passing above my altimeter. They're just below the right hand cloud. It's actually a pair of contacts. And so I switched off the radar again. I switched on the RRST instead, and I made sure to close in on those guys as fast as I could. Now it's about this time that I get locked up by somebody, maybe one of those F-15 pilots that I shot down earlier, because as you're going to see later on, he really had a hard-on for me. He really wanted to see me dead, for sure. And currently just checking the playlist to see what people are actually flying, and I'm pretty sure these are 2 fighters again. And now I have them both on my RST, and I'm fairly close in. I switch over to my archers this time because I've expanded my 2 ET LMOs, and I've got 4 archers. I actually took 8, there's 6 ER LMOs, 2 ETs and 4 archers, and I fire off my first missile at the closer contact, which happened to be an F5E Tiger II. And there's still the other contact, and I think he saw the F5 getting splashed. He turns around. He doesn't know exactly where I am, fortunately, because he could have retaliated there with a Sidewinder, for example, but he doesn't really react quickly enough, and I splash him with the second archer. And this is where I really have to get the fuck out, because first of all, my fuel is about to run low, and this guy who's chasing me, he's constantly locking me up. I don't know how far away he is, but I don't want to get the risk. I don't want to take the risk of maybe getting shot down now, as I have 5 kills to my record. So I engage Afterburner and I try to get the heck out of there. And as said, he really had a hard-on for me, and the chase goes on several minutes. I actually drag him towards one of the northern bases, and I'm going to fast forward to that part and show you how this actually panned out. So, the enemy fighter, which happened to be an F-15C, was hot on my heels for about 3.5 minutes until this point. I'm heading straight north towards the nearest friendly airfield, and I'm actually using the bogey dope here, and as you can see, he's actually pretty close, and he's going to close in even further. I think the nearest he's going to get to me is about 7 nautical miles, and fortunately for me he does not seem to have a radar picture of me because I'm flying so low and fast. But he's probably also using bogey dope to have an idea where exactly I am. And fortunately as well, he did not fire off a missile, because in that case I would have had to go defensive. And I'm very close to the airfield now, and I said he's going to follow, and anytime now I'm going to see, yeah, there they are. That's actually a barrage of SAMs. SAM launches actually towards that enemy. I'm being locked up now, but those SAM missiles actually force the F-15 on the defensive, and this gives me the opportunity to go back at him. And I see him there, and I almost fucked this up right here. I turn around, I turn too hard, and I black out. And yeah, by the way, the server had externals on, but I didn't really use them at all in this flight. And just as I'm about to slam in, I can barely pull up again. I come back out of the blackout. I can stabilize my aircraft. I switch over to an ER fight, but the ER misses for some reason. I switch over to my Archer. He dips down his nose, so the Archer goes into the ground, but I have a second one left, or actually a fourth one left, and that's enough to completely wreck him. And yeah, as you can imagine, I was sweating as hell right at that point, because I was sure, I was thinking he was going to get me because he was already so close. And the SAM launchers pretty much saved my neck there, because they forced him to turn around. And yeah, a very, very nerve-wracking end right there. So yeah, this was one sortie flown in the Su-33, 6 kills, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in one of my future videos.